student. So more grasp of whatever has been taught in school makes them relax. You are safe. They feel safe now. I think the last time we went there, we saw the building. I couldn't imagine how they could understand what the teacher is saying. But one, you're not sitting well. You're either standing and you're like, or you're saying, but with what we have on ground, I think we'll be happy. We'll learn well in that virus.
Many young ones now. He's saying that say, "Ọmọ mi lè lọ issue you." But now, did you for what's
downhill now wearing a new look? No.
I can notice. He could continue saying, nothing she has. The shock is even not good. Every classroom is leaking. Just, I'm sorry I'm using these words, but if you care to look at them, so will it be for a student?
My intention is that when an old student has done, and then that could serve as some kind of issue, not just for the government now to do. People is really expressing me so much, and a long way. And also that people have always said journalists always take, they don't give. And this is to prove that journalists, we don't just report situations. So sometimes, journalism could make you do some very unexpected things. Yes, by the special grace of God, because to some extent, we are actually the government. So whether individual, we should.
Abdullahi Dalhatu began grape farming at Dufa Dufa village in Kudang local government area of Nigeria's northwest Kaduna state in 2003. Today, he's one of the very few Nigerian farmers growing grapes in commercial quantity in the country. And he's also the current national president of Grape Producers, Processors and Marketers Association of Nigeria.
What motivates me to go into grape farming is the potentiality associated with the grape farming activities. Because a grape farmer is raising handsome profit, is raising handsome income in grape farming. Because I doubt if there is another aspect of farming in agriculture which is highly lucrative than grape farming in Nigeria. I have started with the only one varieties of grapes called Black Hamburg. So on that time, it's only one varieties I am cultivating here, but now I am growing 7 different varieties of grapes. I have started with only 15 stand of grapes, but now I have more than 1,650 stand of grapes in this farm.
Well, I didn't know on time because I only knew that she found it difficult to read, and even when she started school, although I thought I was part of the reasons why she could not catch up with her mates, because I was actually I move around a lot. So when I moved, she has to change school. So I was thinking maybe that was the problem. But I actually found out later that even when I got her good teachers, the normal set of school teachers, I found out that she still finds it difficult. She's actually brilliant, very, very brilliant. But when it comes to book, she finds it difficult to read.
My name is Mrs. Uchenna Ahanotu, the director of Nene Special Education Center. I'm an educational psychologist, currently pursuing my doctorate degree in educational psychology from Imo State University. My dream had been always to help students to excel in their academics. So my dream had always been for gifted students. But then I now started coming across children with learning disabilities, and I found out that they were not getting the support they need. So I was helping them in my little way, one-on-one, until it now came to my doorpost. I got reports from the school that my daughter would be repeating class, primary 1. I was like, why? And they said she's not meeting up. This is a girl that is normally intelligent. You know she knows everything, but they said she couldn't read. So, as an educational psychologist, I now had to go back to my books because I had packed my books. I went back to my books to study, and now found out that there is something called dyslexia, and not just dyslexia, there were other neurological disorders. There was autism, there was ADHD, there was all those cerebral palsy. All of them are linked together. So that was how I started focusing on children with learning disabilities. I was going from school to help them, but then 2 times a week, 2 hours a day is not enough. It wasn't giving us the results we wanted. So we had to open the center, and I told the parents, if you want an intensive program, we could enroll her. When she has developed to a certain, she can go back to mainstream school, our learning center. The thing is, when a child performing well in school, and you know you tried all you can, you've been the necessary lesson teacher to low, I think it's time to realize as a suggestion, diagnose a child that we diagnose to know the specific area of challenge. We can't diagnose, say this is dyslexia, this is dyscalculia, this is autism. It can become whatever it is. When we diagnose, we can now draw up education plan for the child. All our children have their own education plan. The child's dyslexia is not in place with another child with dyslexia. So we do one-on-one therapy, we do one-on-one teaching for them, meeting them at the so that's like the strategy. I specific disadvantage, athletes individual as a class. My staff and I go for social training. We go for courses mainline.
Okay, this is actually a timer. This is a timer we use for their section disorder. It's a long time then. We take with section for a child. So I put on a timer. Diagnosis is done. We see the time on times because they like just want to get up and leave. Help us.
Well, sometimes I want them to like can easily pick up consistent and it's like same as if you're not getting them to sit still while you're teaching them. It's kind of can be very, very tasking, and also sometimes they just don't want to learn. It's sometimes like that.
A lot compared to then he was having low self-esteem, and then but here they kind of brought our confidence up. Our confidence level is a lot high, and even if you are not careful, you won't even know that she has that condition again. So I'm actually happy with my experience with Nene Special Center.
Well, it's been quite encouraging. It's been good. It's been a lovely experience. Jaden, my son, couldn't do some things not until he started with the speech school. He couldn't feed himself. He couldn't identify letters. He couldn't identify numbers, but his hearing was perfectly well and is still fine. He hears very, very well, but he couldn't identify some things. But right now, he can identify, he can make sounds, and the rest of them. So I'm impressed.
Before, she won't even try to pronounce, as in, if the word is difficult, she just jumps it to the next word. But now she's trying to, and then she has improved in her reading. She has improved in her self-esteem. She I don't know, psychologically she has improved.
We started last year, 2022, with the few students I had. So this year we plan to go more social media and then reach out to schools, primary schools in particular, to inform the headmistresses, the proprietors, that there is a diagnostic center where they can diagnose a child's learning challenge, because most of them are harbored in these schools, but the teachers are confused. They just think maybe the child doesn't want to read. So we want to tell them there's a center where they can diagnose the child's disability, and then we can also help them to tackle the challenge. So our aim is just the proprietors, and then through social media, we reach out to parents that are worried about their child's development.
I want to ask every parent that when you observe that kind of situation with your child, you should seek. Don't just assume, because some secular schools, they don't really look out for these conditions in children. They just assume that the child is poor or the child is dull. They don't have provision for that in most schools. So, and then such child will have low self-esteem, and it will look like they cannot do anything, or they look inferior to their peers.
Okay, clap for yourself, clap for yourself.
As I said, we started exactly May last year. So this is just 1 year, and we have had a total of 12 kids, about 12, 13 kids. And some of them are still on now.
Well, I must say it has been an amazing one. It has really been amazing. I get to meet wonderful kids every day. Yes, I see them and I'm like, God, these kids are just wonderful, because the world might not see them in that way, but meeting them every day has been like a blessing to me. Being able to interact with kids, it has been great.
My advice to parents that they should find out and keep a close eye on their child. Try to find out about their disabilities earlier in life, so that it will reduce the amount of time that we have to teach them.
Early detection matters. If your child is delaying, just come and find out if it's disorder or delay. We will tell you. If it's delay, we'll just tell you to go. With time, he will talk. But if it's disorder, you have to start immediately to intervene to help the child. Please find a good learning environment for your child. Find a center that understands their challenge and they'll be able to tackle their challenge with the right resources and with the right frame of mind. It's not a flogging issue. They need all the love and care they can get, and they also need the professional touch to get them out of where they are.
J'ai le virus de planter des arbres. Ça me plaît beaucoup. Ici, c'était un dépotoir d'ordures ménagères. Du fait que les villageois ne savaient pas qu'est-ce que c'est que l'importance de la forêt, ils prenaient leurs ordures et les déposaient. En ce moment, je leur ai sensibilisé de leur dire que l'arbre doit vivre comme nous, donc il ne faut pas salir l'arbre. C'est ce que nous a donné l'impact positif pour avoir ici un périmètre pour cultiver. Le 2 mai 2005, on a allé voir les eaux et forêts qui nous ont attribué 500 mètres carrés qu'on a initié. Intégrer les femmes dans un AGR. Et avec ça, on a choisi le maraîchage. On était à 3 hectares, mais on ne cultive pas sous la haute tension. Et on nous a déguerpi et on est à 2 hectares.
Si on fait travailler ces femmes dans cette forêt, c'est pour qu'elles prennent également soin de cette forêt. Non seulement ça permet de fertiliser les sols, mais ça permet également de les autonomiser économiquement à travers la vente de fruits.
If the essence of government is the security and welfare of the people, then as long as there's plenty, poverty is evil. Affluent poverty. That's what we live in Nigeria. We're living in affluent poverty. The news recently broke that a British international primary school, Charterhouse, located somewhere in Lekki, Lagos, was charging as much as 42 million per annum as school fees for its pupil in a poor country like ours. However, the school management issued a statement clarifying the claim that the school fees are currently 26 million naira per annum and not 42 million. Oh boy, now wow. 26 million as school fees per annum for Pekin when they primary school in a poor country like Nigeria, where many states can't even pay 30,000 naira as minimum wage. And many of our public schools in the country are public slums. And unemployment rate is frightening as fraud is now celebrated as a profession. 26 million. Well, I know some of you will go to defend them now. They say if education is expensive, try ignorance. And others will say, well, it's the school is attended by expatriate, kids of expatriate. Even at that, not before Nigeria that they make the money, whether they pay the expatriate salary. Must education be beyond the poor in a country like Nigeria, where ostentatious lifestyle is the attitude of government? So if you pay 26 million naira for a kid in primary school, that means you go pay 62 million naira for that kid in secondary school. And maybe 112 million for the same child when he enter university. And then the child will graduate, there won't be jobs. And then you send the child abroad. Is that not overhead? Go to countries like Poland, Germany, Czech Republic. Charles University and the University of Warsaw are some of the cheapest universities where top-tier programs are offered at an affordable rate. Although universities in all the Nordic countries are relatively affordable, but public universities in Norway remain free for everybody from both within and outside the EU, with the exception of a few specialized programs. But here in Nigeria, go to Edo University in Iyamo. It is ranked as the most expensive state-owned university in Nigeria. Yet, the other state university, Edo State University in Ekpoma, under the previous administration of Godwin Obaseki, suffered from lack of infrastructure and adequate funding until the recent administration in Edo. So what that means is simply this: rich separated themselves from the poor. Now, wow. How many people still remember, the craze those days about British International School? But with the current school fees of 4.6 million and 6.8 million, for boarding, I guess the super rich now, when they pay 26 million as school fees of primary school children, would think, oh, that's poor. So came Chatham House, and yet government go look the other way in a poor country. We know job despite the expensive school, and you expect people not to steal? Yeah, well, what am I even saying? What can government do? When even Nile University in Abuja, where most of our government officials and Abuja politicians, they go get their degree, especially in law, no come cheap. And even some churches, when collect tithe and offering from members to build schools, most of these members that contributed the tithe and offering cannot afford to send their children to these schools. So what do you expect? Even recently, remember Wigwe University in Isiokpo in Rivers State was in the news, not for the death of its founder, but as the most expensive university in Nigeria, with school fees ranging from 12 million naira. And some of these fees are priced in dollars. And our government is pretending to be looking for solution to our dollar problem, while they turn a blind eye to this open segregation in a country where our collective welfare is supposed to be their responsibility. Oh boy, to your tent, oh Israel. You won't blame them though. Don't you see how we openly spray monies in parties as if money is going out of fashion? So that's why they think we are rich. Yet, there are no roads to our villages and insecurity is ravaging the country. Even as our public officials drive around our dilapidated road and public slums in exotic and expensive cars, the cars will neither produce nor assemble here. Yet, with retinue of aides and barrage of mobile police, where the future generations are either emerged in prostitution, hookup, or fraud, I beg no verse, yahoo, as a means of livelihood. Outrageous display of affluent poverty, you would say. This is the reason why some properties without any special infrastructure around them in some area, some area never get road, apart from the fact that there's so much money to waste, are so expensive and priced in dollars in places like Maitama, Sokoro, and environs in Abuja, and Banana Island, and in some places in Lagos, in a poor country like Nigeria, than properties in Miami waterfront in rich America. So no matter how much we all condemn or criticize these things, it will not go away, because the reality is that most Nigerians want to be like these people who are physically rich but mentally poor. As we only criticize them when we are poor, but the moment we become rich or hold public office, we will create segregation, poor and the rich. We move over to expensive slums like Lekki, send our children to special schools, meant only for the rich, occupy government positions and steal public funds, ride expensive cars without identifiable or sustainable means of livelihood, and display wealth irresponsibly and spray endlessly at parties. That's just our life. So, no go stop. So if I lie, anyway, check those occupying public offices today. Between 15 and 12 years ago, they were mostly critics of the attitude of the government then. But today, they are all in government and repeating exactly what they once criticized, even if not even worse. So I will therefore advocate, until we see government as a vehicle for public good, social justice, creating job opportunities, infrastructural development, equality, and a vehicle for impacting our community positively, people will continue to chase wealth, material possession, and position as a way of life and end up not living at all. Government must take job creation as a priority and endeavor to consciously and consensuously celebrate and compensate hard work and create regulation in every sector to avoid a society of wealth without work. The attitude where government officials are at the forefront of displaying affluence in the midst of poverty must be discouraged, as it pushes people to acquire wealth without work. Lastly, our orientation should help improve our mindset to the fact that voluntary and selfless service helps write our name in gold in the sand of time. That even when we die, our name will be so engraved in the heart of the world that time will never erase it. Well, I don't want to talk too much. Make I pause and here to enable you make your own contribution in all our social media platforms shown on your screen. Also help us to share the message so that we can collectively change our society. For no matter how expensive education is, without commensurate effort to promote and create job opportunities, you will still end up as poor. No be me talker. Remember, the luxuries of today are the necessities of tomorrow. See you next week.
Many thanks for joining. Joy Uchejim, and these are the headlines we're tracking at the moment. A rainstorm disaster has rendered many residents homeless in Ogele Asa local government area of Kwara State. The incident, which occurred on the 9th of Eid al-Fitr, destroyed public infrastructure and residential buildings. The affected property
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Sydney Okafor. In keeping with its administration commitment to delivering quality education for students in Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has officially opened state-of-the-art classroom blocks, complete with a mini football pitch and a multi-purpose sports court at Keme Balogun Junior Senior College in Ibeshe, Ikorodu. The inauguration marked the commissioning of 16 state-of-the-art classroom blocks for secondary schools, facilitated by the Special Committee on the Rehabilitation of Public Schools across the 6th Education District in Lagos State, in line with the state's Team Plugs agenda. Please take a look at the new state-of-art classroom blocks for secondary schools.
The commissioning of the new classroom blocks is expected to enhance the school's learning environment and improve the quality of education. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was received by a large crowd of residents and students, said the simultaneous inauguration of 16 new blocks of classrooms across the state is a testament to his administration's commitment to providing top-quality education for all residents. The governor further emphasized that the construction and renovation of these schools not only improve educational quality but also create jobs, stimulate the local economy, and provide livelihoods for workers involved in the projects.
Do one commission or two, we have to do it in concurrent and in large number. And today, in the past 1.5 months, we've been commissioning roads, we've been commissioning drainages. Now is the education sector, which is under a Teams Plus agenda. For some of you that are monitoring, earlier today, we went and commissioned the very ultra-modern, beautiful classroom block in a brand new school of Ajegunle Junior High School in Koshofe local government area on our way here. Also earlier today, with the Permanent Secretary, Tutor General, and 1 or 2 cabinet members, they've gone ahead to commission the Odogunyo Junior Grammar School, also here in Ikorodu. You can see that these ambitious events consolidate our commitment to development and pursuit of educational excellence and the social economic development in our state. Education, we say, is a cornerstone of our Teams Plus agenda. It's the engine that drives economic growth. It reduces inequality and empowers individuals to break the cycle of poverty. By investing in these schools, we're investing in the social economic fiber of our various communities. Earlier today, and you could see it from the video, I was deeply moved when we went to the Ajegunle Junior High School. This was a community that has been denied for the past almost 15 years. When heavy flooding ravaged the entire community and they lost the only school that they had. But about 2.5 years ago, they did wrote to us passionately and we did responded. Driving into that community this morning brings a nostalgia of the real essence of governance. When government make a promise and you keep a promise. Not only have we done the road into that community, that school had almost 150 pals. We did not consider the extent of what resource we needed to do to give that community a befitting world-class educational institution. And they also have the sporting grounds because a canteen and a football pitch was also constructed for them.
In the address, other speakers say the structures would not only enhance academic excellence, but also provide a conducive environment for learning.
Your action consistently reflects the premium you place on learning, demonstrating a deeper appreciation for its transformative power. Indeed, this is a shining testament to your dedication to educational advancement and holistic well-being of our students.
Keme Balogun got attention following instructions from Mr. Governor when he got the information that the first state of the classroom blocks had 3 bungalows here before. To my left here, you see 2 bungalows still existing. In between those 2 bungalows, there is another one. So when we came here, we realized that they are all in derelict situations. We conducted some soil tests, and the result of the soil test immediately advised that we need to demolish one of the bungalows. When we did that, it became obvious that the classroom to student ratio was not adequate. The population spiked, and as a result, when we approached Mr. Governor, the situation we are having here, he instructed the construction of the edifice we are seeing to my right. Thank you very much, sir. To do this building, typical with our modus operandi, standard operating procedures of scripts that have been laid down by Mr. Celibo, we conducted a structural test in this environment to be sure of the type of foundation we are going to put this building on. Because we don't want to assume that Ikorodu is solid soil. So what we do generally as a standard operating procedure that Mr. Governor has insisted we go through is to do a soil test to be sure, because we don't want to have any collapse.
The Lagos government says it has constructed about 1,290 blocks of classrooms across the 6 education districts of the state and also rehabilitated over 4,000 classrooms in both primary and secondary schools in the state within 6 years. It's promised to deliver some of the ongoing road projects in Ikorodu and build more primary and secondary schools for the benefit of the residents.
Education is the future of any nation. So it's to pay close attention. But where I want improvement is the teachers, because teachers can only teach what they know. So our teachers in those schools need more trainings, because they can't give what they don't have. What I've observed is that some of the teachers are not even qualified to teach. So they should pay attention to this. Their trainings, they need to be trained to train. If they don't have the training, no matter what facility they put down, nothing will, because it's what goes into the hearts of the children that will come out in the society. So education is very fundamental. It's a vital key to the development of a state, a nation, or any country. So that's my take on that. They should pay attention to the teachers. Because if you have a teacher that knows what they are teaching, the children will learn well and they will understand what they are learning. Teachers determine how, because these teachers are like leaders, they're like role models to the students.
We shouldn't even be thanking them for that. It is the right of every Nigerian to be educated. Constitutionally, at least from the primary school to secondary school, at least, every student, every Nigerian child has that constitutional, right to that educational, stages of the stages. You understand? For me, I believe we are still lagging. So many out of school children, especially in the north, we are better off here in the south, but we can do more. We have always taken the forefront in terms of education. We continue to do more. There are so many of our children out there who are not in school today. If the education is made affordable, if classrooms are moved closer to those children, there wouldn't be any need for them to trek miles before getting to their school, or entering buses that will take them kilometers before they get to their school. Schools should be brought closer to them, and if it's not brought closer to them, there should be programs, facilities that will ensure that they are taken to school and brought back home. Then again, it must be affordable. It's even, I believe it should be a criminal offense for any family or parent not to send its ward to school, especially where the government has provided the needed classrooms. And I believe, while I do not want to thank the government, because it is right of every Nigerian to go to school. I believe they should do more, and they are trying. I want to appreciate them for that.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello. Alhaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello? Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I'll just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we are in Abuja.
Keep quiet there. Who told you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amounts funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. That is truly commendable by the governor. Our next story focuses on the commissioning of the new bus terminal in Abule Egba suburb of Orile Agege Local Council Development Area in Lagos State, which has now been integrated into a expanding network of modernized public bus stations connecting various communities in Lagos. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu officially commissioned the newly completed Abule Egba bus terminal, aimed at improving and facilitating seamless mass transportation between suburb and other parts of metropolis. Can we take a look?
This new Abule Egba bus terminal has officially been opened to the public by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu alongside his deputy Femi Amzat and other stakeholders. The launch is part of Governor Sanwo-Olu administration's commitment to build a seamless and integrated transportation network that will provide Lagos residents with improved daily commuting. The governor, speaking at the event, disclosed that the project is a fulfillment of his pledge to upgrade the public transportation system for the people of Lagos.
Today, here in the ever-bustling Abule Egba, we're here to hand over to the people another public infrastructure that will aid their seamless commuting from here to other parts of Lagos and even perhaps to other parts of the country. This infrastructure reflects our commitment to continuously enhance our public transportation system. We're strengthening connectivity and we're improving the overall experience of our commuters. We are dedicated to taking ongoing steps to advance and to modernize public transportation across the state. You see that in addition to the blue line, to the red line that are in operation, you are aware that we are making moves to kickstart a 68-kilometer green line from Marina to the Lekki Free Trade Zone. You are also aware that we're in discussion stage, haven't done some feasibility on the Purple Line, which is a 60-kilometer from Volkswagen, which is an offshoot from the Blue Line, to all the way into Ogun State, the redemption camp by Mowe. We believe these are all connectivity that will enhance the rail infrastructure. You recall sometime last year that we went and signed MOU with Czech and the Ministry of Finance Incorporated to bring about the fusion of the Green Line. And I'm happy that work is starting very soon. Discussions are in advanced stages. Designs and drawings are being completed. And before the end of this year, you will begin to see the construction of that all-important Green Line project. That project, when completed, even has the capacity to carry well over 600,000 passengers at its peak. And so this is big public transportation solution that we're about. I'm happy that thank you. I'm happy that our rail infrastructure continue to contribute to the mobility of Lagosians. To further enhance that, we are also improving and enhancing our bus services. We are anticipating the arrival of new CNG buses and electric buses by the third quarter of this year. They are being produced as we speak, and I believe everything will be done preparatively to begin to receive these buses before the end of this year. This, we believe, would be a major addition to our current fleet, which will improve availability of buses and reduce waiting times at all bus corridors.
Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Osiyemi, through his permanent secretary, said the state policy reflects the government's commitment to safe, reliable and affordable transportation for all residents.
This is more so as the movement of commuters, goods and services from place to place are vital and inseparable aspects of global and urban economic survival. Over the years, the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation has reflected the contemporary realities and the vision of the present administration as regards equipping Lagosians with an efficient and effective transport system. This informed the various policies the ministry adopted to ensure reduction in traffic congestion at places where otherwise motorists and commuters spend many unproductive hours in traffic. You will all recall the executive order signed by Mr. Governor on traffic management, following which very critical junctions were identified and remodeled to mitigate traffic gridlock. The government has worked on these junctions to engender better traffic flow. We can attest to the salutary effects of such improvement on Allen Roundabout, Lekki First and Second Roundabout, and the ongoing improvement at Tony Okpebi Allen and at the Bola subdivision areas. To better manage traffic-related issues such as overspeeding and indiscipline on the road, the government, through the ministry, has installed ITS in some areas of Lagos State. We have installed e-police sites at Allen Avenue Junction and Nuruddin Olookoko Road. We have also installed road signs to inform motorists of these regulations. About a year ago, Mr. Governor unveiled the state transport policy, a roadmap to Lagos' brighter, more effective, efficient, and sustainable future. Mr. Governor informed that the policy became necessary to eliminate the barrage of transport challenges facing the state's transport system, ranging from traffic congestion to pollution and inadequate infrastructure. The Lagos State transport policy is built upon a foundation of inclusivity, sustainability, and innovation. It embodies the government's commitment to providing safe, reliable, and affordable transportation options for all residents, regardless of their socio-economic status or location within the state, as well as integrating our various modes of transportation. The soon-to-be commissioned Abelegba bus terminal therefore reflects the letters and spirit of the Lagos State transport policy. It is to provide a central place for connecting to different parts of Lagos, and based on this, I want to congratulate Mr. Governor on commissioning yet another impactful and life-changing infrastructure for the Abelegba community of Agege and the entire Lagos State. Mr. Governor, please be assured of our desire to continue to work until the last hour of this administration to bring your vision and that of the state government to reality.
This administration prioritizes traffic management and transport as the first pillar of its Themes Plus agenda. The Lagos State government has been and is still investing in the provision of infrastructure for public transportation, including rail, bus services, and water transportation. To properly coordinate bus operations in communities, bus terminals are necessary and are thus provided. Bus terminals are important because they provide a central location for passengers to board and exit buses and connect to other forms of transportation. To date, the Lagos State government has provided bus terminals in Ikeja, Oshodi Transit Interchange, Aja, Oyingbo, Yaba, Ojota, Ifakoijae, and now at Abule Egba. Iyano Ipaja bus terminal is currently also under construction. Like other terminals before this, Abule Egba terminal has loading bays, a terminal building with a customer service area, a waiting area, spaces for restaurants and other commercial services, offices for ground staff and other BOCs, public conveniences, a water treatment plant, and provision for green energy, amongst others.
This development has integrated Abule Egba, located in the Orile Agege Local Council Development Area, into Lagos's growing network of communities connected by modern public bus stations. Abule Egba residents have commended the governor for the project but urged for affordable bus fares.
Abule Egba too is moving forward. If you look at the Abule Egba, they've changed it compared to 5-10 years backward because I lived at Songo, something like that. But they've changed the face of Lagos as a whole, and they are building gradually. So I will tell Lagos State as a whole that they should remember us in Badagry. Presently, I reside in Badagry. God will help them. They've tried concerning the express road there, and God will help them to do more and more to all sectors, all areas in Lagos State, up Lagos State, up Nigeria.
When you are partaking in BRT buses, it applies to everyone, whether you own a car or you don't. It decongests the traffic on the highways, so everybody don't have to put their cars on the road. So sometimes, if you don't have a special function, you can just leave your car back home and make use of the public transport, like the BRT. So the one in Abule Egba, I think it's like, you know, and because that place is heading towards Ogun State, Abeokuta. So if you are able to get there faster, you can, you know, continue your journey to other areas. And people that are staying there, they can easily live like in outskirts of Lagos, while they live there. And they can go to work and come back on time without wearing out. So it's helping the masses a lot.
Sanwo-Olu added that the state expects new CNG and electric buses by the third quarter of 2025 with the aim to enhance Lagos bus services. He also urged residents to take ownership of the project to prevent vandalism of the infrastructure.
Welcome back. Lagos residents are truly reaping the benefits of taxpayers' money. Kudos to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his team. Well, that's all we have on this episode of Lagos Voices. I'm Sydney Okafor. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Ayetoro community is a theocratic communist setting funded by a group of believers known as the Apostles in 1947. Ayetoro community in its heydays has the largest per capita income in the whole of West Africa. Initially, Ayetoro community was 15 to 20 kilometer landmass away from the sea. But as it stands now, more than 10 kilometers of the total landmass has gone into the sea. And this frequent surge is attributed to emission from multinational oil companies off the coasts of our land, not minding the environmental challenges and disasters.
This is a community established in one of the Nigeria base. A lot of people you see in the offshore were trained here, both mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, and nautical engineer were trained in this bush. Yes, this bush, I call this place bush. And this is the Shepherd Technical Workshop approved by the IWD, which is now Minister of Transport. IWD means the Inland Waterway Department. That is the colonial time.
This place is like small London. So, and our primary occupation here is fishing. You can see now, everything now has been eroded. Some of our fishermen, they have went to other places to find for their source of livelihood.
It's just a sudden that we have been experiencing sea encroachment coming every day by day. And since that time, we have been making effort to the federal government because we are law-abiding citizens. We believe that we cannot engage ourselves in a radical ways because we believe that by protesting, writing letters, federal government can come to our aid. By the videos, a lot of things we have been doing since we have expressing the sea church.
I'm shooting. That area, that is the iconic worship center. Yeah, that wood. That is the iconic worship center. Over there, we have the community service center here, over there. Then at the same time, the major streets where other minor streets were linked to has been permanently submerged by the ocean surge.
I'm seriously worried. I'm worried because this recurrency surge is affecting us in virtually all human aspects of our life. Social life has been collapsed, economic-wise has been collapsed, health-wise, nothing to sing and dance home about. Even our religious activities, our life, religious life, has been collapsed totally. Because Ayetoro community is a religious setting. The church moved here. We have not just come here to trade or to do other activities. The church is the community is the church. So every aspect of our life has been totally, damaged by this current, recurring sea surge happening in Ayetoro. And over 20 years, we've been into this. People have lost, several properties worth millions. Buildings has collapsed. Over 500 to 600 to 700 buildings have been washed away. Our industrial power has been collapsed. Ayetoro community is known to be a self-developed community on its own without any intervention of the federal government or the state government over the years. Yet we kept on going. If by now the ocean surge as a result of the oil exploration that is going on in our offshore is destroying our land, up till now we cannot see the hand of the government coming to help and to rescue us. It is so sad, and that's why I'm worried.
Tí ẹ bá wo gbogbo ibi ilé ló kún bẹ̀, gbogbo ilé yẹn ni òkun ti parẹ́ pátápátá. Bó dẹ̀ ṣe ń wó ilé yẹn ló ń wó gbogbo àwọn
ohun àlùmọ́nì wa, àwọn ohun tí a ní, ilé, ohun ẹrù wa, ìmíì gan tó bá ń wo báyìí tí a bá tètè dìsámúra àti gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, ó gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ nìyẹn.
Fund the trip of those guys. Trip of those guys.
This thing is excruciating, it is extreme. In fact, every blessed day, people used to die because of the thinking that the community that was founded at their present has been eroded. So it is extreme, it is serious, it is harrowing.
My father's house happened to be the extreme house before the Atlantic Ocean. We lost it 2017. 2007, that was when we lost it. It's highly devastating. Even the one that belonged to my grandmother, we lost it. That was along primary school road. We lost it too. So I've been affected. I'm highly devastated. Now I'm a tenant in my hometown. Imagine how is it? Highly devastating. We need support of the entire world to save this community. Ayeto community is a community that must not go into extinction. It's a very serious situation.
So the community is divided into two, the up and the down. So the up is reserved for the men. Why do that? Because they want them to access the sea quickly because of the occupation they engage in. Then the downside is reserved for the female, so that they can dry their fishes, because the Atlantic breeze is coming from the up, so that the smoke will not disturb the community from up. That was why they situated the downside for the women, so that their kitchen can be the downside. So we have Bale, Abejoye, Korodun Aneroye, Adedoyin, Alebiosun, Bishop, Arojolu. Then so after Arojolu you have the information house, or the glass house as we used to call it.
So where's the glass house now?
It's gone already.
It's some months already.
That is where all the information regarding the Ayeto community, people coming just like you came now. All the information about your trip, what you are going to do, when you are going to, you go back, so it will be documented before you go into the community. That was how it was done then. Then the city hall or civic center, there too, all of them have gone. After the city hall, you have Ojomo Street is gone too. So behind Ojomo, you have the church building. The church street and the church building is gone already.
And that church is very important.
Very important. Community. That is where they situated that night of January 12, 1947. They situated when they came in. Now we have Akinjoye, we have Ajayi. Then in Ajayi Street, you have the first Ogeloyinbo Palace built with wood. So that one is gone too. We have the Olowojayi. Then after Olowojayi, you have the shoe making industry.
There used to be a
shoemaking industry. One of the industry, a small scale industry. Then behind the shoemaking industry, you have the clothing making industry too. So that one too is gone.
It's gone.
So we have after Olowojayi, behind it is the shoemaking and the clothing making. We have Olowo Topa Oyinbo. We have Omogbenwa. Then after Omogbenwa, we have the carpentry workshop. So the carpentry workshop too is currently threatening. Half of it is gone into into the sea. And then you have Tobase. Then you have, after the Tobase street there, you have a mini supermarket. There's a mini supermarket there. So after the mini supermarket is where you have Oyetomi Street. So from the upside,
where's the mini supermarket?
This is just behind the what's it called?
But it's still there.
We can still find it there. So after the what's called the mini supermarket, you have Oyetomi Street. So from the main side now, the main streets, Oyetomi Street is the only surviving street you can find up.
And it's been threatened.
It's threatened. In almost we only have just 2 buildings.
That is where my mother's father's house was situated.
and it has been eroded.
Those are just 2 houses.
And your fear now is that this side, where
yes.
the female side might be affected. So it's like everybody has moved to this side now.
Yes, yes. So most of the male now, they are actually residing with their wives.
With their wives.
Their wives. So the Oyetomi is the only one that you see. Then from the downside where you have the
and this broad street is no longer existing.
It's gone completely. It's gone completely. Where you can have the broad street, the beauty of the broad street now, it's around the Block Palace. That's where you can have the beauty of the broad street.
Okay.
How it looks like.
tí ẹ bá wo ọ̀hún yẹn chọ́ọ̀chì wa gangan the main church táwọn baba ńlá wa kọ́ ó ti wo àtúnkọ́ mi ó tún wo.
The church is where all the inhabitants of this land will gather to worship God, because that was the revelation our forefathers received. This place is a Christian utopian religious community for the service of God.
It has actually changed the landscape totally. Let me put it that way. Why do I say so? It's because when you look at the land mass, as at when our founding fathers came here, 1947, it is about 20 or 10, 15 kilometers to the shore. So people had to trek. I think Dr. Noge wrote a book about Ayeto community. That the only challenge is that the fishermen, because Ayeto is known for fishing, the only challenges that they are having, it is the accessibility to the shore. Too. That is as at that time, and it's been a long time. So it has actually changed the landscape, and we are worried about it.
This is the community technical college. Here we are. Now you can see now these are debris, has been ravaged by the sea surge. Now that place, that is the bakery that we are using before. This last month, the sea surge has ravaged this place and we've relocated to another place. So it is serious. That is the powerhouse generating plant. It has been affected, greatly affected by those sea surge. We also have dockyard over there where marine boats were built in the past. That place has been submerged as well. So nothing to write home about in the community again. All our social, cultural activities has gone. The secondary schools has been relocated for about 3 consecutive times now. Nothing again.
If urgent intervention is not coming any moment from now, the community will no longer in existence, because 2/3 of the community has gone already.
My fears is that if something reasonable, prompt action is not taken on the part of government to salvage this land, perhaps we might. We don't pray for such anyway. The community might go into institution. We don't want that, because Ayeto community has helped the federal government, even the West Africa, in terms of marine, because when Ayeto was having a technical school, the Ayeto community has trained experts in marine engineering, in nautical engineering, and they are serving all the multinational companies that we can see in our offshore. Ayeto community has built the largest fishing boat in the history of Nigeria and West Africa. It was built here by the local carpenter, and those people that even built those beauty boats, they were still alive. Check Fishing News International, is there.
If prompt and urgent action is not taken within, let me say, within the space of 2 months, where we stand here will no longer be. So, and that is why we are appealing to the federal government as a matter of urgency and exigency to please come to our rescue. so that Ayetoro is a historic community, so that it will not become a thing of history. That is our appealing. We are appealing to the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Dito Sopadek, Ondo State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, to please come to our rescue so that this glorious community will not become a thing of history.
So we are begging the federal government, we are begging the international community, we are begging NDDC, we are begging all relevant agencies to please come to our aid.
Apá wa ò ká o, kàn jọ̀ọ́ kàn má jẹ́ kó kùn yìí kó gbé wa lọ, gbogbo ilé ibi iṣẹ́ wa, gbogbo ilé ìsìn tá ń pè church, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti wó.
I'm now appealing to the state government, federal government, and the world to give what you call immediate action on this community. If you were here about 7 years, about 20 years back, if we tell you the extension of this place, you can't believe.
There are many sad and dark events in human history, but none devastated the African continent like slavery. To understand some of the plight those who were sold into slavery went through, one must visit Goree Island, their last point of departure from the African continent to the New World. Boarding the ferry to Goree Island. This is no slave ship, but it is no less built to capacity. But this time, with goods, tourists, traders, and for a hint of Noah's Ark, some animals, even though there are not two of each kind. Slavery ended more than 153 years ago. One can't help but feel sadness just walking the streets, trying to imagine what went through the minds of these citizens of various countries as they were hauled, sold, and shipped to a strange new world. Where did these slaves come from?
At that time, each African ethnic group had its price. And the most expensive ethnic group used to be the Yoruba. Yeah, they were from Nigeria. Because those Yoruba were very strong and tall, and they worked very hard in the plantations. That's why they were more expensive. They took those kids for two reasons. First, because in the plantations in America, there were some special jobs, typically for the kids, and they did them very well. And then because of most of those kids were from the parents very strong, because they saw that when they will grow up, they will be strong like their parents. That's why they took them. In all the 28 slave houses in Goree Island, the slave masters have the right to sleep with the young girls. Once a young girl was pregnant, she became free here in Gorée Island or in Saint Louis in northern Senegal. But she wasn't totally free because usually she worked as domestic slave in the European houses, you know. That's why some of the young girls found a kind of interest to be pregnant from white masters so they can be free. At the time, the price of a man was up to his weight and his muscles. So the minimum weight for men was 60 kilos. Those who have less than 60 kilos, they put them in this special cell just in order to fatten them up. Let me tell you that they did not buy slaves with money. It was exchange. You know? For example, to buy a man up to 60 kilos or a virgin girl, you could give a gun or a barrel of wine or a blanket or something like that. To buy a child, you could give a mirror or a necklace or a piece of tobacco or something like that. So that's why people used to say that Africans also were involved into the slave trade, because some of the African tribal chiefs were collaborating with the Europeans.
Yeah.
And here, this is a punishment room for the rebels. Those who fought against their masters, they put them inside to punish them. As you can see, they could not stand up inside because of the hope. 4 or 5 people at the same time in this small room. In 1991, we welcomed in this house Nelson Mandela. And then Mandela came inside. He stayed in for about 5 minutes. But when he came out, Mandela was crying. Right in that you have the waiting rooms. The slave used to wait here before the shipment. At the famous door of no return. Because once the slave got out from this door, it's mean bye-bye Africa. They took them to America and they never come back. Because of the rocks, the boat could not come near. That's why from this door, they built a kind of palm wooden bridge as a wharf. But during every shipment, some of them tried to escape by jumping into water, but they never could go far because either they were killed by the security guards or they were eaten by the sharks. Why the sharks? Because at the time, in all the 28 slave houses in Gorée Island, once a slave got sick, just to avoid the epidemics, they threw him into water and that attracted the sharks. That's why there were a lot of sharks around the island. Let me tell you that slavery lasted in Gorée Island from 1536 to 1848, more than 300 years. And during that time, there were about 15 to 20 million slaves coming from all over the African western coast. They transit through Gorée Island to America, and 6 million of them died because of bad treatment. 6 million.
very emotional, but he knows it very, very, very in a high level the history and the relationships between Africa and other countries, and also he knows exactly what's happened between the 16th until 19th. I'm talking about the slavery and the Atlantic slavery.
Walking away from the island, there are some pretty paintings on the street walls. One must ask, what have these walls seen, or what cries have they heard over the last 300 years? Somehow, I don't want the real answers to that question. Maybe you do.
Monday, the All Progressives Congress and the Independent National Electoral Commission. In its judgment on Wednesday, the three-member tribunal struck out the petition, describing it as lacking merit and frivolous. And in Lagos State, the police command has uncovered and dismantled an illegal internet fraud training facility in the Iju area of the state. The command spokesperson, Benjamin Hundeyin, in a statement, revealed that 4 principal suspects were arrested alongside 6 trainees. According to him, among the trainees were an underage boy identified as Mina Udochukwu. And the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has called for collaboration with the Sahel and West African countries on information and data sharing for effective border control. He made the call while addressing newsmen on the sidelines of the Summit on Border Security in London. According to him, organized immigration crimes are peculiar to any nation but cut across, hence the need for collaboration and shared solutions. And the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Heineken Okpobiri, threatens to withdraw oil blocks from owners that have failed to develop them. This is against the backdrop of the Nigerian government calling on international oil companies operating in Nigeria to ramp up investment in the country's oil and gas sector, emphasizing that the current administration has provided every necessary incentive to ensure seamless and profitable operations. And on the foreign scene, rescuers on Wednesday have pulled out a man alive from the rubble 5 days after Myanmar's devastating earthquake has caused growth of the junta to allow more aid in the halt attacks from rebels. The shallow 7.7 magnitude earthquake on Friday flattened buildings across Myanmar, killing more than 2,700 people and making thousands more homeless. And final sports, Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti has denied in court having intentionally committed tax fraud on the opening day of his trial for allegedly failing to declare income to Spain's tax office, the latest in a string of such cases targeting sports figures in the country. Prosecutors are seeking a jail term of 4 years and 9 months for the 65-year-old Italian, accusing him of failing to pay more than €1 million due to undeclared earnings from image rights in 2014 and 2015 during his first spell at the club. Those are the major stories from our newsroom at the moment. So bring you more updates at the top of the hour.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow.
Welcome to the program. I'm Okpeyemi Owosheni. We begin with business news. Renaissance, an indigenous oil and gas company, has denied report of a gas explosion at its gas plant in Rivers State following claims of a blast at the facility on the 23rd of March. Earlier reports had suggested that an explosion occurred at the Soko gas pipeline operated by Renaissance. However, Renaissance swiftly clarified there was no explosion or fire at its gas facility. The company stated that its operations were running smoothly and that all facilities were secure. The company further emphasized its commitment to safety and environmental standards, assuring stakeholders and the general public that its facilities are regularly monitored to prevent such incidents. And Benin Republic and Togo, Nigeria, $8.84 million for electricity consumed in the fourth quarter of 2024. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission reviewed this in a report highlighting the remittances made by bilateral customers, domestic and international, and special customers for invoices issued in 2024, the fourth quarter, by the market operator. According to the report, the 6 international bilateral customers being supplied by GenCos in the Nigerian supply industry made a payment of $5.2 million against a cumulative invoice of $14.05 million issued by the market operator for services rendered in the fourth quarter of 2024, translating to a remittance performance of 37.08%. We'll go on a break now and be back with company news. Welcome back. Now in company news, United Bank for Africa PLC has released its audited financial statement for the year ended December 31st, 2024, reporting a pre-tax profit of 803.7 billion naira, a 6% increase from the 757.6 billion naira recorded in the previous year of 2023. Now post-tax profit for the group surged by 26.14% to 766.5 billion naira, up from 607.6 billion naira in 2023. Now, this represents the highest annual profit ever recorded by the bank, solidifying its status as one of Nigeria's most consistently performing financial institutions. Over the last 2 years alone, UBA has reported a cumulative profit of 1.37 trillion naira, a sharp contrast to the 570.4 billion naira it posted in the 5-year period leading up to 2023. And Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC has announced the appointment of Yemisi Ayeni as an independent non-executive director. In a statement, the company's board of directors approved the appointment on the 20th of March 2025, highlighting our wealth of experience in finance, corporate governance, and strategic leadership. Ayeni, an accomplished finance professional, graduated with honors in economics from the University of Manchester, UK in 1985. She became a chartered accountant in 1989 and is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. Her career spans over 3 decades, before returning to Nigeria in 1991. We'll go on a break now, but when Money Matters return, we'll be discussing the Securities and Exchange Commission promising stricter compliances in protecting investors in Nigeria's capital market. I'll bring you more details after this break. Welcome back. The Securities and Exchange Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to protecting investors in Nigeria's capital market by cracking down on fraudulent activities. According to the Director General of SEC, Emomotimi Agama, operators engaging in unscrupulous practices will face strict penalties as the Commission prioritizes safeguarding investor interests. He called on existing and prospective market participants to collaborate with the SEC to foster the development of a transparent and robust capital market. Over time, fraud and corruption have had a significant effect on the market capitalization of Nigeria's capital market. The Securities and Exchange Commission recently announced additional enforcement measures, including the introduction of a name and shame journal to publicly identify capital market operators who violate regulations. Now, this initiative emphasizes the Commission's zero-tolerance approach to infractions in the capital market and aligns with its enhanced enforcement strategies. Now, let's discuss this further. Equity and fixed income sales trader at CSL Stockbrokers Limited, Joshua Joseph, now joins me on the program. Thank you for your time, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now, there has been numerous warnings by the Securities and Exchange Commission for Nigerians against investing in fraudulent stocks. Now, what factors would you say are responsible for the increase in fraudulent activities in Nigeria's capital market in recent times? And what steps do you think the Securities and Exchange Commission and market operators should take to effectively address these issues that we are seeing in the Commission at the moment?
Thank you very much. So what we've seen played out, right, it's the fact that Nigerians, we are in the inflationary pressure environment, and the economy, we've been experiencing lots of economic hardship, right? So most people, most investors are just looking for high yielding instruments or opportunities, which we've seen have made them more vulnerable to all those fraudulent schemes, right? You see avenues saying that, oh, okay, where can I double or triple this money within 1 week, within 2 weeks, right? So the enticement of those attractive levels as what led to most individuals falling victims, right? And we've also seen the use of digital presence, right? Most especially the digital fraud. And we've also seen some of these platforms also making use of social media influencers, which we've seen promoting all these Ponzi schemes and disguising it as legitimate investment, right? One thing we've also seen is that these, so to say, fraudsters, right, have been taking advantage of regulatory loopholes, right, and also weak enforcement. That's why you see the SEC coming out, right, to raise awareness against all these loopholes and individuals or firms, right, raising funds illegally from being detected majorly.
With the Securities and Exchange Commission's crackdown on unethical practices and the introduction of stricter regulations like the fit and proper persons test, now, how much impact do you think this would have on market operators, and what do you think stockbrokers can do to ensure that they remain compliant while also fostering trust with investors at the same time?
So one of the key responsibility of capital market operator is ensuring integrity of the market, right, and ensure that investors have this trust, right, in the capital market at large. So we've seen the SEC coming out with the fit and proper persons test, right, which we think it's very essential and we ensure that only qualified individuals or capital market operators operate in the market at large, right, which we majorly reduce unethical practices, right? So these things will also lead to the investors building trust, which will also cause, we'll say, increased compliance, right, which will boost investors' confidence and attract more investors into the market, right? When we'll see improvement of KYC, right, from brokers and also the anti-money laundering rules, we see them all these protocols, when we see them applying all these, and when you see transparency in reporting, like we've seen the regulatory also coming out recently for asking stockbrokers to declare on a quarterly basis all those inactive accounts, right? So when you have inactive account, also what leads to lots of fraudulent activities. But when you see all these regulatory loopholes being tightened and bringing out various regulations just to ensure seamless compliance, right, I believe this will improve transparency in the market and also boost investors' confidence in the capital market as large. So I believe both the SEC and also the stockbrokers institutes or industry have leg to play in this, right? In the sense just to boost investors' confidence generally.
Now, in light of the SEC's increased enforcement effort, one of the things the Commission plans to do is the name and shame strategy, where they call out companies or investors that are defaulting. Now, I would like to know how exactly you think this would help Nigeria's capital market in terms of investors' confidence, market transparency, and ethical trading practices.
So, for sure, we can both testify to the fact that we can't play out the importance of social medias, right? When you see the SEC releasing these journals, right, where you have name and shame, right, and you as a firm or you as an individual, you won't like your name to be in the public for a very bad attribute or bad figure, right? Which will also encourage ethical conduct from market operators. Right? They will be very more cautious. Knowing that their reputation is at stake, we could say for a fact that in the financial industry, the financial market, right, having a bad reputation is one thing that every operators tend to avoid, right? So when you have that rule in place that if you go against the regulatory requirement, if you embark on any fraudulent activities, you could have your name published. And we both know how it works, right? Once it's published, you see various news posting it and publishing this news across, right? It's more like almost everybody in the country, even outside the country, already know that you are involved in any fraudulent activities, right? So when you know this, right, it will strengthen investors' confidence, and when they see that SEC is publishing this particular company, right, involved in fraudulent activities, they will believe that, okay, if any other person is involved in any fraudulent activities, they will also be made known to the public, right? So it's a good step from the regulatory part.
All right, now let's talk about compliance, because it's one thing for the SEC to give regulations. It's another thing for investors and the market generally to follow those regulations that has been stipulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, what challenges exactly do you foresee for capital market operators in Nigeria, and how do you think they will overcome them as regards complying to the regulations stipulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission?
So one thing is that when you have continuous or frequent policy adjustments, right, we could see various market operators struggling, right, and just be able to adjust, right, to these regulatory changes. We've seen we are moving into a technology advancement, right, and you would expect that market operators engage in ongoing dialogue with the regulatory, right, with the regulators, just to ensure proactive adjustments, right, and that will help the firms, right. And one thing that is needed is when we see various policy coming in from the SEC, right, it will be best to have implementation phase, right, and not just roll it over at once, right, because sometimes it involves regulatory costs, right, and also you may have this implementation burden in the sense that you will now have to start training your employees or your staff or the operators generally, right, to be able to understand the new regulatory or the new requirements, right. And one thing is all these policies will lead to increased transparency, right, in terms of expectation of operational change. You should know that, whatever circular the SEC is releasing is public. So if you are trying to invest in a company and you are checking their, you are making some research on them, and you already know that, there's a regulatory requirement that you should have this, you should have that, and once you are not finding this, right, in those firms, you should understand that there's an issue somewhere. So firms will definitely be able to invest in compliance and take it very at a good thing to lead to all this regulatory reporting and streamline them, right, to ensure that they meet the requirements of the exchange, right, or the SEC at large, right. So we think that even though it might be a bit stricter, right, it will also change investors' confidence and in the market, which will also boost investors making research even after receiving advice from financial advisors.
Now, do you anticipate any changes in the way market operators behave or in the way securities are traded as a result of the enforcement of these measures?
So when you have more stricter rules, right, it will lead to more transparency, right, more ethical brokerage practices will be seen. You will see increase in market participants, right, because when investors' confidence grows, it comes in the sense that you see more participation in the market, right, and you would see various products coming into the market just to meet regulatory requirements, and capital market operators will start employing different risk management tools, right, who could help them to just provide diversified investment options for investors generally, right. So we believe that these rules or policies coming to the market should have more positive impacts than any negative impact if we're going to have any in general.
Now let's talk about the role of technology in all of this, but this time technological advancement like automated trading systems or AI-powered surveillance. Do you think this can help in identifying and preventing fraudulent activities in the market more effectively?
Okay, so one thing is I'm very sure even in the banking system, when you have unusual activities, right, to your account, it tends to be flagged, right? Having this into the trading into the capital market or the securities market will also help, right? That it's these surveillance system we have to track unusual activities, right, or unusual trading patterns, right, which could also lead to fraudulent activities when you start seeing or a recurrent activities, right, on maybe on a specific date of every month, and you tend to understand that, oh yes, this system will flag them out, right, and also it will also help to process or give room for more verification, right, in terms of trade log that goes into the market, right, which will avoid any manipulation that might come in, right. So we think that this technology, in building this into the system, we also prevent fraud, right, and ensure more transparency and leads to you seeing a lot of fraudulent activities being flagged in the system.
Now, what do you think investors should look out for when choosing a stockbroker to ensure that they are working with a legitimate and trustworthy operator? Because I feel like it is really important that investors are also informed about making the right decisions.
Yeah, very much. So one thing is we are in the kind of generation we are in is the fact that you just trying to say, oh, I just want to do everything on my phone, easy access, right? In as much as we want that, right, it's best for every one of us to do due diligence, right? There's always a way, right? Investors can always confirm, right, whether a broker is registered or with SEC, right, before engaging with them, right? Like mentioned earlier on, right, the new journalists that the SEC is introducing, we also help investors to track record and reputation of various firms. And we've also seen the exchange publishing performances of brokers, right, generally. So all these, when you check track record and reputation, understand the transparency in fee structures, right, for companies, for brokers generally, right. All this will help investors to identify legitimate and trustworthy stockbrokers before engaging in any investment activities.
Now, it's the third month of the year, and the year is still very long. Now, given the Security and Exchange Commission's focus on cracking down on illegal operators, what do you foresee for the future of Nigeria's capital market in 2025 and beyond?
So one thing is we do have a 1 trillion economy target, right? So we believe that having all these policies and regulatory activities in place, right, would improve market integrity, right, and also lead to more global recognition, right. It's not far-fetched, right, because when you have all these transparencies in place, right, you expect that to lead to more foreign institutional investment in the market, right, which will show which make them show more interest in Nigeria assets, right. You will also see a more introduction of various market instruments, market products, right, and also the role of technology being in place, right. We make all these likes of fraudulent activities, fraud detection available, and you'll be able to do lots of trading activities, right, in terms of algorithm trading, which will enhance activities, right, and improve the capital market landscape. So very much sure that going into the year and beyond, right? When you have a very well-regulated environment, a transparent market, right? This will definitely lead to more encouragement or participation from both retail and institutions, right, in the market, which definitely should lead to more capital market growth, right? And if the capital market is growing, definitely per venture, you would expect that the economy also grow.
Well, equity and fixed income sales trader at CSL Stockbrokers Limited, Joshua Joseph, many thanks for lending your thoughts on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Well, that's it on this episode of the program. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Okmayemi Owosheni. See you next time.
My name is Bintu Salu Garba, IGB. From secondary school, I moved on to Kano Polytechnic. That's where I started painting. And I'm happy I was the first female to start painting the Kano State. When I was a child, I used to draw. By then, I didn't know what painting was. I guess you understand what I mean. Then my uncle, then Aledidia, late, he now took us to London. That's where I saw paintings of master's paintings, very beautiful ones at the National Gallery of Art in England. So from there on, I just love painting and I pick up interest from there. Because I noticed after every painting, a painter will now inscribe his name at the bottom of the painting. That was what inspired me. I said, boy, I would love to paint and then inscribe my name on that. From there on, I just pick up drawing, and then I continue drawing from there. That's it is to painting. Honestly, if you say dominated by men, possibly it is only here in Kano that painting is dominated by men. Other places, painting, women do painting. If you say challenges, well, there are quite a lot of challenges, but I was able to go through it because the men I'm working with then, they were also helping me to see that as a female, they kept encouraging me, even the lecturers, they encouraged me to paint. So I now pick up painting and I continue doing it, and I truly, really worked hard to get to where I am today. I started teaching drawing. I got employed into Kano State Senior Service Management Board, that is secondary school. So I continue drawing, painting, and then teaching at the same time, and then making money from there because it's a job. This I do. You understand? It's what I do. I teach painting. I paint. People tend to commission me for some paintings. Some of them I will say flowers, some fruits, some vegetables. I continue doing it, and that's how I tend to make it as a business. As I've earlier mentioned, I told you I've been teaching for past decade now. Understand? So I guess I am passing this knowledge down. That I've come to this age, in my studio, I allow teenagers to come. I teach them painting free of charge. Some of them, all they do is to buy themselves. And then I do teach them, I do coach them. You don't teach painting, you coach. It is something like person has talent, and then you now coach him, you develop him. You understand what I do now? Yet, and teenagers and adults, some of them are even interested. Come to you and ask me, I would like to paint. Fine, and with it is what I've been doing for 30 years now. So I now find it easier to even teach anyone that is even interested in painting. For over 30 years. I cannot tell precisely how many. Like I told you, it is school. I teach in school and I take many classes. You understand? And I've taught in so many schools now in Kano. So many schools that I teach now. I cannot tell. But I know a lot of people getting. The outcome, I can see people are developing interest in painting. They see female in it. People are now coming out to appreciate painting. Like though I forgot to mention to you that we have this Society of Nigerian Artists. We are shouting out to people, getting people, reaching to them, so that they will now understand painting and that it is not drawing. It is a way of life, because some people don't even know that painting is a profession. They don't know it. So now myself and members of the society, we are reaching out to people to get them to understand painting and drawing as well. Over the years, my painting, I dealt mostly in culture. Any environment I find myself, I now tend to go to I see the culture, the kind of people that are there, like I now work with what they have there. My painting is mostly culture and educative as well. Anytime we hold an art exhibition, do sell painting, and besides, when I was in school, visitors used to come and buy my paintings. That is why I lost count of my painting. Then I didn't know I should be counting them. As I'm working, people tend to come in and appreciate the work. By the time I'm working, they will tell me, okay, if you are through with this, I'm going to buy it. Some, by then, I even used to give it free of charge. I didn't know it is something that I should be counting or something I should keep as a side. But much later now, I come to realize that every piece of my painting is like a child to me. So from there, then, I've started counting them. The one I did, I cannot precisely their numbers. Now people are buying art, decorating their houses. Even places of interest now. And if you go around Kano, you will see that there are places that are decorated with paintings. You understand? So that is how we are reaching out to people in the government, do commission artists to come and do paintings in strategic places like what do you call the recreation centers, even in hospital. We even have paintings in hospitals where we educate, you understand, on, say, like now we have this COVID-19 illustration to make people to understand what they should do and what not to do. Start of COVID-19, honestly, I've been able to make one of illustrate COVID-19 Kano. The kind of materials have around me. Okay, yeah, behind you, so you can see. Yes, after I will show it to you. It's something I use, a plant that comes out in ball like this. So I use that kind of plant now to. I use it and I name it as COVID-19. I would like to advise the government, because anyway, almost everything on earth, people will say government should do very well. I would like government to encourage artists and help us appreciate the work of art we do. Anytime they have to do with illustration or like needing to inform people about something, we would like them to ask things for them going and getting those kind of illustration, billboard, where it's around, encourage us. Like they do release one for agriculture, they release one for education, they release visual artists too. They do that. We should like to appreciate our work. They don't just say drawing. Drawing is a way it's a life. Art is last time you're wearing a hat, a cloth, it's how you come yourself, isn't it? So that is of life. I think the department is very fast But that is not withstanding, that is not stopping us from doing what we're doing, because not only foreigners that patronize paintings, it's not only foreigners. It's something you can do and keep time. To be I think to one first I can make sketch on paper, then I will now move on to the side of the design. Then I prepare my there is the easel stand, and then you need canvas like I told you.
Right in the middle of inside the buildings below, and refined change people. Them had not 6-year-old Tanya is leading the change. An economist by training before branching off into farming, Jay and his team are sitting out here in August.
Cultural technologies being mixed with nutrients and so forth. So everything is within a control.
Yeah, very popular edible tuber, mainly cultivated, exported across.
The yam, the overall agricultural sector, according to the Food and Agriculture based in Rome, of about $30 billion US, with inputs to about $19 billion. In conjunction with IITA.
House, where the yam seeds are grown in this row of boxes using air in the air. Now just take a look at these leaves. Every year is a potential yam here. You just have to something vessel.
In those boxes, estimated, and they're high. So we're actually